6 years ago, I decided to get out of my comfort zone, which is why I wanted to fly into a new world, a place full of surprises, which opened its doors, and now I consider it my home, and that is Turkey. But before taking that big step, what was my life like, and where was I living? So here is my story. I was born in Mexico City, the fifth most populated city in the world, with around 21.6 million inhabitants. And yes, if you ask me if it's very chaotic, I will say yes, even more than Istanbul. It's a city rich in history, the land where once the Aztec Empire was also established. A place where we will find exquisite and mouth-watering food, colorful and exotic places to get lost at. However, when I was 4 years old, we had to move to another city. My father found a better job opportunity in a small city called Ciudad Juarez, in the north part of Mexico. Ciudad Juarez is predominantly known for being one of the most important border cities in the north of Mexico. That means that we have El Paso, Texas, as our neighbor. The weather is quite hot during summer. Sometimes it even reaches the 45+ degrees Celsius, and winters are also strong. We have a fabulous desert and dunes in the region too. But all year round, people in Juarez will always receive others with a warm hospitality. Now, let's show you a little the city I grew up in.
This is a very interesting monument that we have here in Ciudad Juarez. This one is located right in the border with El Paso, Texas. So basically from here we can see many buildings that correspond or belong to El Paso, Texas. As you can see, this is huge, and also it is very photogenic, and a lot of people come here, either locals or tourists. They either come here to take photos or just to spend some good time here. Also, during certain months of the year, you will find some fairs going on here where you will find a lot of food, a lot of playgrounds for the children and for everybody. So this is a place where also a lot of the locals gather here during certain times of the year. This is one of the 5 international bridges crossing from Juarez to El Paso, Texas. And here people can cross either walking, by car. Every weekend, back in the days, I used to cross almost every single weekend with my family or with my friends, because it is so convenient to cross, and also many of our things are way cheaper buying them in El Paso than in Mexico. So for that reason, my family or my friends, we were crossing every single day. But at the moment, due to the pandemic, now the borders by land are closed to Mexican citizens. Only US citizens or residents can cross to Mexico and then go back to the US. So right now, the US is only open for Mexican citizens, but only if we have to cross by plane. That's the only way we can cross right now. So at the moment, I can only see the US from here. This international bridge, of course, I used to use it a lot. And another one, which is a bit closer to my house, and in 15 minutes, we can be just right there. Right now, I wasn't expecting seeing this much line of cars trying to cross to the US, but most of these cars are from people living there. So they probably came to Ciudad Juarez just to buy some stuff, or maybe because they also have family living here, and now they are going back there. Also, this main street of the center of Juarez, it is very famous, especially at night. What I remember from many years ago, here there were a lot of bars and nightlife. It was very active here. And also you can find many stores as well. But what I realized, because it's been years since I literally came here, what I realized is that some of the areas were fixed, like renovated. and now this area looks much nicer. So I feel happy to see this street nicer, because back then it was, especially at night, it was a bit dangerous. Not as bad, but it was kind of you really needed to be careful when coming here. But this is what my city looks like. This is Juarez, and I feel happy to be here.
Now we're walking towards the city center, which is just 10 minutes away by foot from the International Bridge. Here we can also find cute spots to spend some time with family or friends. There are some photogenic spots and a beautiful cathedral. This is a great place for also buying nice souvenirs and handcrafts for a great price, and why not? Also trying some unique street foods. As I mentioned before, the weather gets so hot during the summer, and this specific day wasn't the exception. We were so thirsty that we had to buy an agua fresca. In English, it's something like a fresh fruit water, which are traditional in Mexico and of course refreshing.
When I come to this place, it really brings me very good memories, because this is the high school, and I can say that some of my best years I spent them here. This is the high school where I studied, but right now it's another high school. For some reason it changed some years ago of name. It's also a government school, but before I was studying here, it used to be called El Chamizal. This is also very close to the border. So from my classroom, we were able to see every single day the cars that were trying to cross to the US, to Texas, and all of this. And this school has been operating as a school probably since the early 1900s. So even many parents or many grandparents of my classmates, they studied in this same school. So this is a very historical school, and I have very good memories, and I just wish sometimes I could go back in time, but this is all that I can see right now. This is another place that it's really important to me, and because I am sure many of you think that that my background is teaching, but my real background is law. So this is the university in Juarez where I studied law school, and I graduated from here as well. And here in Juarez, I was studying as well in a federal tribunal for about 8 years. But I really needed a change. I really needed something else that made me feel happier. And that's why I decided just to give it a change in my life and try something new that really made me feel happy. And that's why I decided to fly away and try something different, as many of you already know. And right now, it's something totally different from what I really studied, but it really makes me feel fulfilled. That's the most important thing. And yeah, here it's my school where I studied about five years. Actually, I was studying here, and it also brings me very good memories, and I made very good friends here as well. So this is the city where I used to live. I lived most of my life here before moving from Mexico City. And before moving to Turkey as well, this is where I lived. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and I really wanted to tell you a bit more about my life, because most of you don't really know too much about myself. I have just introduced myself maybe in one video, which if you want to see it, I will leave that link somewhere here. And well, hopefully you have enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye bye.